Hey, what's up and welcome to this very new and exciting pre-tutorial. My name is Mr. Popo and I am the Popo, and today we're not really going to be looking at tutorial, and if you heard me right, I said a pre-tutorial. So today I want to try something that is just not as I'm used to. I'm really very excited about this project. Finally I found it and I want to share with you the techniques that are being used here. But before I start sharing with you the techniques, I would like to give you a small heads up first how the whole thing was set up, and then probably later on I'm going to give you around let's just say 3, 4 to 5 days, maybe a week, and you guys have to try to do it in spite of just blindly looking at my tutorial and just following it, but then you don't really understand what's going on. I mean, I want some interaction here. I don't want to just keep my tutorials just like you're watching any video compiled tutorial. You're just following step by step or whatever kind of tutorial. I'm not against video compiled. I do watch it as well. But what I want is you guys start training and using your brain rather than just blindly following whatever someone is telling you. I want you guys to understand this plugin because it's really important plugin. You can really do some crazy stuff with it. Talking about crazy stuff, I'm going to show you first a small sneak peek of this video because it's still corrupted. So I only have around 6 point something second out of the video. That is nice because you can see it's still called Final Comp. And yeah, I'm going to show you first the video and then we're going to go dive into it. So yeah, we get some particles, we get some real nice stuff. Well, I hope you're not fasting. Wow, I know, right? Now, this video is actually pretty easily done if you really know how to use Plexus. You don't really have to be a master in Plexus. Actually, all you need to do is the same basic info that I've shown in my previous tutorial. And if you're in my class in Lincoln University, you know that you really have all the assets for making a better results than this, because this was really done long ago. And today, I mean, I'm not expecting you guys to get the same look, but at least I'm expecting something like this. And by the way, this was done by actually one of my students. Is called Samir, as you can see here, Plexus Samir Showreel, and we just took HBO and he tried to apply the same effect, and it actually worked pretty well, as you can see. Alright, so yeah, I mean, nice camera movement, nice colors, and freaking nice use of Plexus. It was pretty close to it, but yeah, you guys can do better. Probably you can at least get the same look. So without further ado, this is getting really long. I'm just gonna dive in directly into small things that you need to know. Well, the first thing you need to know is the thing that I would first, before I start the tutorial, I want to thank my freaking dear friend TTS, who invited me to his house to record this tutorial. And it's quite calm, it's quite big, it's quite spacey, and for the first time we have an aircon while we are recording a tutorial. So thank you, TTS, and thank you, Izuki, for bringing me here. Thank you guys so much. You guys are great help. I mean, well, we'll talk about that later, but for now I really need to finish this so that I can finish my Pokemon X. Now, well, yeah, of course, that's why I'm here. Now, all right, let's get serious. Let's get serious. So, I seriously need to work on a transition so that after every time I want to talk about something serious, I'll put a transition. So, yes, like time for seriousness. All right. Now, this Samsung has to shut up one day, actually. All right. So, the first thing I did was I went and I blindly and stupidly went to the Cinema 4D. You don't actually really need to know how to use Cinema 4D. All you need to know is Samsung, shut up. Now, yeah, you know how to take it off. Thank you very much. Once again, TTS saves the day. Now, for example, here I'm gonna say T, for example. All right, let's do homage to TTS. Now I'm just gonna write the letter T, put it in the center, and probably you can choose whatever font you want. So I'm gonna probably choose Proxima Nova, and I'm gonna make a bit of depth. Now, one thing you need to know is that Plexus pays so much attention to your vertices. So, for example, if I want to see the vertices here and the whole thing, I'm just going to go inside display and make sure I can see the lines here. So the more you see the line, I can see that practically I don't really have a lot of points. This is not good. So I don't really have a lot of vertices. I don't really have a line. So that is just not going to be good. And my Plexus is just going to give me like 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 12 points. And that's not really enough to get this look. As you can see, Samir did quite a good job on putting a lot of vertices, and exactly that's how it was done. Now, in order for you to get this, all I needed to do is go inside intermediate points, adaptive, which I'm going to explain on the next tutorial, but for now I just want you to at least try to do this blindly. Now you can see that I've got more points, and the more subdivisions I add, the more points I have. So I just need to get more vertices in this kind of areas. But don't worry, everything is going to be explained if you don't know this next time. Now, the next thing after this was you just go and save your, I mean, you don't really need, by the way, you don't really need Cinema 4D, just that the only 3D software that I have for now is Cinema 4D. So you just create your letter, get some vertices, you can even put it as a polygon or whatever, file, export, object. You just need to get it as an object. I'm going to call this T, all right? Alright, I'm going to save in the desktop and click on OK. I'm going to create, for example, the third letter, T, obviously, and then S. And then I'm going to save this, export, object, S, and that's it. Save. Alright. Now, all I need to do is go back to my After Effects, create a new comp, and put the layer Plexus. Alright, so effect, roll byte, Plexus. And I'm just going to make sure that GPU is accelerated. Please, if you don't understand all this, please watch my previous tutorial on Introduction to Plexus, because you really need to watch the tutorial if you haven't, in order for you to understand what I'm doing here. Now I'm going to call this points, as we did, and I'm just going to close it and choose add geometry. I need an object. So I'm going to click on OBJ. I'm going to call this probably letter T. Okay, and import object, open, and I'm going to choose my desktop T. Alright, click on OK. There we go. I have my T. Now if I go create a camera and try to rotate around this guy, actually, as you can see, Plexus put points on every vertices inside my Cinema 4D, which was really cool. Now, what I did was, of course, you need to invert this so that you can see it normally. Alright, which makes a lot of sense, I guess. Quite cool. So basically what I did next, for example, is just I duplicated this and I got the T, and then I duplicated this, I got it S, but yeah. First thing is probably get the points down. Get the points down. Alright. Great. Cool. Nice. So what he did was he just put the whole thing inside of one layer. Alright? And he just positioned each layer in a different place. For example, let's see here. If you go inside Plexus, you'll see that pretty much everything inside of Plexus is there. Let me just see Plexus here. Alright, so if we go to custom view and we try to go to Plexus like this, so this is what's up. He put the H here, he put the V there, and then he put the O on the other side, which is quite, I mean, that's how it was supposed to be done. And in order for him to put this one here, this one here, this one here, he went inside each object, transform, and he played with this. For example, let's take an example here. I'm going to call this first Plexus so that I'll get lost. And I'm going to create a custom view. Alright. Now I'm going to create another object probably, or just duplicate this and import object and choose the other object. But for here we have T, so it's quite good. Or just for the sake of you understanding, I'm going to get another S. I'm going to click on OK. Now basically I have T and S on the same point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go inside the transform properties, just like the transform properties inside of a layer. We have position, scale, rotation, and blah blah blah. So it's the same thing we have inside the letter S. Transform and go into the Z object, Z location, and we're going to put the location a bit far, and we're going to put it probably down, and probably that this way. Alright, and I'm going to probably push it like 1200. So this way the T is here and the S is there. So all I need to do now is to just move from one T to another S, and that was quite easy. Now, how he linked this from this H to this B like this with this line? Well, that's very simple. He used what we did last time, and that's Plexus toolkit. Inside we have beams. Alright. Now, before he goes to beams, first name beams. Now inside your letter T, he put this guy into group object 1, which is pretty fine. Now inside the letter S, he didn't put it in group 1, but he made sure that it's in a different group so that he can link them using using the beam. So inside beam, in spite of using object, as I explained on the last tutorial, he went for group, and then he went for a Bezier line. Alright, now of course you've guessed it, if you play with time, you're gonna have this guy going out from here to here. We do have a lot of lines, so if you want to take this off Bezier point, we can say probably that's 20. I'm just going to keep it probably back to 50. Start range selector. I'm going to say that it's not really. I'm just going to. All right. It's not really too much. All right. Cool. And what else you can do? You can play with the start thickness. Probably it starts from 1 and then it ends at 0. So then you have this kind of look. Now the next thing he did was he played with the axis, whether he wanted this way from T to S that way, which actually he used here, and or you can use Z. All right. So for example, x-axis. And then the only thing you can do now is you can play on how curvy you want your line to be. Alright, and then you just go and animate the T when you're moving from T to S, or whatever object to another object. Cool. The next thing he added was, how can I say, he added a bit of triangles, and that's very easy. All he did was, hold on, let me close this Plexus. I'm going to create, for example, a primitive. Alright, I'm going to close this S. I'm going to create a primitive. Plexus by default is going to create me a cube. I don't really care. Now, inside this cube, I'm going to call this first cube so that I don't really get lost. Cube, close it. I'm going to probably put the cube in group number 3 so that it doesn't get affected by the noise, which we saw on the last tutorial. Now inside, I'm going to go position, and then I'm going to make this go a lot farther, and I'm going to make sure it's only affecting group number 3. So that's how I got the particle look. So it's the same thing if you want to get this look but not his look. I mean, in this tutorial, in this Samir's example, he didn't use noise to bring the particle like I did here in the beginning of the video. So what happened was I put a big noise and then I bring it back to 0 so that they come back to the same place. Alright. Now, yeah, it's the same thing now, as you can see. So basically I have some cloud here. Well, I can do pretty much the same thing. I'm going to call this noise for cube 1. Alright, now for cubes, I can say that for cubes, for cube, okay? Then I can just duplicate this cube. I can just duplicate this cube and I can just push it right in the Z, let's just say 1200, just like we did for S. So I can make sure that now my thing is actually on S, and I'm just going to bring it down. Alright, there we go. We have now particles around S. So yeah, that's one thing. Now I'm just gonna stop recording for now, because I want you guys to, just using this, I want you guys to know how it was made. Just try your best, whatever result that it is. If you want to send it, send it. You don't want to send it, well, that's up to you. Me, I'm just trying to help you guys. If you don't want, I'm gonna keep helping. Anyways, I need to go back play my Pokemon, because that's why I'm here. I really want to play my Pokemon quite late. I didn't play much yesterday. So yes, please try your best. Try to do it first. Look at my previous tutorial if you want to understand more, and I'll come back in few days. So hope you enjoyed this pre-tutorial. My name is Mr. Popo, and I'll see you next time.